Blessings be upon all of you. Welcome, everybody. Gather inside. Come on in. All are welcome here. Blessed be. Welcome to Cornfed Bible study. This is the 18th one I've done. This is the eight. Boy, I've been doing this every weekend for 18 weeks now. Who would have thought that it would have lasted this long? Or I mean, it doesn't require too much. I'm but a I'm but a humble servant of God, as we all are. And hey, if I can't make the time to just once a week sit down and commune with my fellow man and woman, and anything that exists there in between, then what am I doing? I can make time to scroll on my phone all day and lollygag and um, just mostly waste time. And I say to myself, if I have this many hours in a day to just while away, then I should be at least be able to make the time for maybe an hour, a couple hours once a week to sit down with my brethren and sister and study the word of the Lord our God. So thank you for joining me this week. Thank you to everyone who's been showing up to be in the congregation. Thank you to the members that have been here, and hey, anyone who may just now be finding this. Just want you to know you are loved and you are welcome. Let's thank you. $2 donation, $2 tithing from folks. The collection plate is the super chats, I suppose. $2 from Sean from Pittsburgh. Praise unto all, especially Sal. Yes, praise be unto Sal. I was trying to coordinate something with him to record for the Patreon. I was hoping to do it tonight, but he's busy with the kids, so we gonna do our regular show tomorrow, and then do we'll stream on this channel tomorrow, and then and then we'll hop over to the Patreon for the premium stream. Streaming's tight, dude. This is the future. Is streaming. No, I don't know why I don't know why I did it for so long. I guess I didn't know what I was doing. Just recording stuff and then uploading it. No, the people yearn for the stream. It's cool. It is cool I get to interact with. There's a chat here. There's chats in the streams that I think do most of the heavy lifting. And it really helped me because I don't have any ideas or any like spark or talent left, and so the chat is here to kind of keep the beach ball in the air, so to speak. I am but a conduit for the chat. That is the weird. That is like, I don't know, I feel like I've always been behind on everything, or just not understanding the parlance of whatever it is, the streamers where they like will look at like just address just the sort of conglomerate, the organism that is the chat. They'll be like, what do we think about that, chat? Thoughts, chat? Very impersonal. Just addressing the chat as this one sort of collective entity. I don't know. I guess these other guys have like thousands of people tuning in, so maybe that's how they have, or maybe they don't think at all. To be honest, so they probably have like. So what a blessing that must be to be like just stupid and just not really thoughtful, and then just go with your gut and just keep just do something and then succeed and just never even really have to think about your place in the world or consider anything. It's just you get to be like a oh, dude. I don't know. I'm probably overthinking the dumbest, just the dumbest things of all time. Who there's always been, um, I don't know, dumb celebrities who are seemingly completely lacking in any talent. Who you just wonder, what value does this person provide? And it's really you don't have to. They don't have to provide anything. They just be somebody to look at. Um, like that. I see the clips of that guy who's popping off now, Speed, some black guy, which he's making a pretty compelling argument for this. Is gonna, bear with me on this, but he is making a pretty compelling argument for black people maybe having like some sort of I don't know, like extra muscles or stronger, more supple muscle, some sort of like a musculature that is different from white people that lends itself to uh you know athleticism, to being more athletic, because he's not necessarily an athlete but he is an athletic person, it seems like. And I keep seeing videos of this guy jumping over Lamborghinis or something. He's like jumping over cars, like cars are just speeding toward him and he leaps in the air and jumps over them, and I'm like, there's not a lot of white people I think could do that. So there is something to those genetics, I suppose. But that's all part of God's grand mysterious design that we don't understand, is that God, we were all created in God's image, and I suppose there is a reflection of God that is black and can jump high, if you know what I mean. Oh, $6 tithing from William Allman. Blessings be upon Mariska Hargitay. Like Mariska Hargitay. Yeah, me and Robbie are doing. We're reclaiming the Love Guru. We're doing film revisionism for the Love Guru. So stay tuned for more commentary from us on the Love Guru. Mariska Hargitay, which is a funny joke from the movie. That her name just sounds enough like I guess Indian, that it's used as like a one of those greetings that gurus have. These I don't know. You ever go to like a yoga studio and they're like namaste, gulukadangada, or whatever they say. That for that movie, the joke is that is this Mariska Hargitay. Which is crazy. It's crazy that she's just like some white lady, because that does sound like extremely ethnic. What's it called? It's a mantra. I guess it is. Yeah, a mantra. Um. So. Yeah. Welcome everybody. I'm sorry. I'm sleepy. I would have done this earlier. I got dog walked at work today. I have to actually work a job, and I'm not afraid to admit that. I'm but a humble servant, and I work for a living. I toil away in the proverbial fields of sales, in the sales fields. So I have to sell things over the phone. I got phone call after phone call after phone call. It's just so strange how I don't actually have to move or do any hard labor, do anything like except just sit there, and then the phone dings, and then I say, oh, hello, thank you for calling, and but then after like the 20th time that happened, after the 20th call, by the end of the day, I'm just completely burnt. I got like nothing left in the time. I'm so exhausted from having to talk to these people. Um, I don't know what it is. I try not to be cynical. I definitely try not to be a cynical person. I want to be optimistic. I want to see the best in people. I want to, try and like be kind and understanding. But it's I don't see myself as a particularly like smart or gifted or anything like in any way like better than anybody, I suppose. Like I don't think I have any understanding of the world in any way more than other people, you know. But it's odd how any job I've had where I've had to deal with the public, whether it's retail or food service or the phone working the phones for a place or whatever, it is like constantly astounding to me how seemingly completely stupid almost everybody is. There's very few people I talk to in a day that see that I am confident can function in this world unassisted. You know what I mean? I hardly talk to anybody who I feel like has like their head screwed on straight and has any understanding of the world around them. Most people I speak with are cripplingly stupid and seem to, if there were not any sort of systems in place that made sure that at least helped the people in this country not die, they would just be dead. They don't possess like the means to function. It's like what's really odd is that everybody in this country has to go to school. So presumably these are people who at least made it to. I like to give them the benefit of the doubt and say they graduated high school. They went through 12 years of school, and it didn't do anything for them. They are just all so dumb, but also angry and entitled, like feeling like they're owed something, or they're annoyed that they have to call me, and just very rude and entitled, and just extremely, unbelievably stupid. And it gets exhausting. I just all day I'm answering the phone, and um I hear just like this cacophony in the background of all their kids screaming at each other, and some like deadbeat negligent dad screaming at the kids because he's trying to watch TV, and the smoke alarms are chirping, and the person that's talking to me is barely even like barely even focused on the conversation they called me to have. Like they're constantly also having another conversation with someone in the room with them while I'm trying to, or they're at the drive-through, or they're trying to get Wendy's while I'm talking to them. It's like $1 from New Rule. Thank you for the tithing. It's baffling to me how like they seem to have no respect for me, and they seem to at the same time have no respect for their own themselves or their own time, because it's a waste of your time and effort to call me while you're also trying to get Wendy's, because I'm not gonna I need you to be focused on what you're doing in order for this to work. You're like trying to buy something that requires like your attention and understanding of what you're purchasing. And so if you're also trying to get chicken nuggets at the same time, this is not going to be effective. You're going to be confused the entire time, not know what you're getting into. I rope you into a contract, and then you end up getting a bill that you can't pay, and now you owe the company hundreds of dollars because you were too focused on nuggets while you should have picked one or the other for that moment in time. These things can wait. If you're out getting chicken nuggets and you think to yourself, "Oh shit, I just realized I need to set up my phone service." Would you, at that moment, as you're at the Wendy's drive-thru, call the phone company to set up your service, or would you go, "Hey, you know what? I'm getting nuggets right now. How about when I get home and I'm done eating my nuggets, I'll give the guy at the phone company a call to set up my service." Um, which is, I mean, I guess if you need phone service, how you call in the phone company? I guess you would already, you would have access to a phone, to be able to do that. Like most people have access to phones these days. You know what I mean? It's just people who are like not only dumb but also very rude and entitled, and and just don't understand like prioritizing their time or their tasks in the right way. Where it's like, okay, now you're gonna call call me while you're trying to get Wendy's. This is not the time to try and combine those two activities. Pick one or the other. Um, Demarquatia, and his name's like, you could probably guess the kind of people that I'm talking to based on everything I've said. What is this? William Allman said. Um, I used to be a GameStop manager and let a buddy check out a game. His kids put Love Guru in the box when he brought it back. A game guy transferred to another store across the country. That's awesome, dude. Oh, and he was pissed. Dude, I'd be pissed if my kids threw away my copy of the Love Guru like that. Uh, that's good. Great movie. Um, folks, the Love Guru is a good movie. But anyway, yeah, all this is I was just exhausted at the end of it because it's really odd because somebody in the chat mentioned standing all day and your back hurts or whatever at the end of the day. Oh, thank you, Pat DeRose. That's a good point. Yeah, once you get your first job as a teen, you realize how dumb everyone in the real world is. Yeah, yeah. It's like I said. I don't want to be like one of these like curmudgeonly guys who's like where I think I'm like better, smarter than anybody because I'm like there's enough time. History will show you, and there's more than enough evidence in my own life that I am very stupid and irresponsible. But I guess I have some sort of intelligence or intellectual nature because I mean, like I talk to just I do feel like when I talk to people when I'm working a job and like I have to interact with the public, I'm like I do feel like I know for a fact I'm smarter than this person, whether they got more money or me than not. This is one of the dumbest, most moronic people I've ever spoken to, and I can't wait until all of us are just replaced by robots. We should not have to interact with each other in this way. What is this? $2, Sean from Pittsburgh. 9 hits of acid, Hall and Oates changed me one night. It's actually not Hall and Oates. They've never referred to themselves as Hall and Oates. It's always been Daryl Hall and John Oates. So please show some respect to Daryl Hall and John Oates. Oh yeah, this is also because I got off work and I had to take a little power nap, which was like I think like 3 hours. And this is we're also starting later tonight because I did have to catch that I had to catch that Joe Rogan live special live. I had to experience it as it was being performed, which I don't understand this gimmick that the comics are doing now, where they got to they have to broadcast the whole thing live, like it's one of those NBC renditions of Grease or whatever. Remember when they used to do that? You would turn on NBC and they'd be like doing some like musical of the Grinch or something, and it would be like live. Like on TV, it'd be like a live performance, and it was always terrible. You would always be like, I don't understand why why they're doing this, because the live element does not add anything to this, and this is just a horrible, awful performance anyway. They could have just done like some other production of this story and not have like gay theater kids try and do it live on camera. Anyway, so that's what this Rogan special was like, but for bad stand-up comedy. To answer your question, Sean from Pittsburgh, the camera work was kind of distracting because that's the other thing they have. I guess I'm not like a camera guy. I don't understand how things are like filmed or how anything is produced really, but I think I do understand that if something's live like that, it's like a different, it's a whole different setup because you don't have like the ability to have like a ton of different cameras and edit it together. Um, it seemed to be, I think, mostly one camera, and it was just kind of distracting because you could just tell it was like being shot live, like to be broadcast live. So it did feel like kind of distracting. But I mean, it was, I guess, like the what struck me about watching it, and I guess this is why this is what's so frustrating about him is it's like he's not even it's not even bad in a way that's entertaining. You know what I mean? He is a very competent stand up comedian. Like he's a good performer. Like he's very energetic and seemingly present. Um, it's all just so like rote and nothing unexpected. You know what I mean? There was no, he's not innovating in any way or doing anything that was exciting for me personally. But it also just wasn't like, it wasn't like watching someone like watching someone who like really watching someone really care about what they're doing and put all of themselves into it and still fail spectacularly is enjoyable to watch because you're watching someone who has passion really try and completely miss the mark, but there's like value in the fact that they care, so like they're trying, and there is some value in that. And that's what's like really amazing about bad attempts at creating art. Like that video that's been going around right now about with Corey Feldman trying to play guitar. He obviously really loves music and wants to be good at playing guitar and being a musician. Now that he's, I guess, not, he's not allowed to act anymore because he exposed Charlie Sheen and all the pedophilic elite in Hollywood. So now he's got to try and play guitar a bit. And it's like that video is so unbelievably bad. But try. I don't know if you find somebody should try to see if you can find this. I don't know how to. I guess I can pull it up. I think it was the guitarist, the guitar player for Living Color. Remember that band? The band with the big hit from the '90s, Cult Personality. I think it was the guitar player for that was like tweeting about it, saying basically like it very eloquently too, like offering this dissertation. Black guy. I think his name was Vernon Reed. He was very eloquently like providing this dissertation on why that Corey Feldman performance is actually like entertaining and interesting to watch, because it's like whether Corey Feldman understands this or not, what he's doing is a sort of performance art that is like a commentary on the fetishization of celebrity and even like guitar solos themselves being these like fetishistic, masturbatory, concert events that don't, that really only exist to serve the person playing guitar. But for the, this is me talking, Vernon Reed, I do think that most guitar solos are very boring to me. It doesn't, when you're a teenager, you're like, oh, you think that's cool. It's like, oh, it's so cool, the guitar solo. But for the most part, now if I hear a guitar solo, I'm like, yo, get back to the song. What is this? This is so boring. But anyway, but here's the thing. the sort of transcendence of the Corey Feldman trying to play guitar performance is found in the attempt, the passion that he has, and the sort of the desire he has to be good and to receive adoration for being a good musician. When in the adoration he receives is just he's Corey Feldman. Um, so the entire performance. This is something that Black Guy said. This entire performance only exists. The context for it, like this whole thing only exists because he's a celebrity. But in my opinion, I do think that what's interesting about it, what's like fun and like enjoyable, and if there's any meaning to be gleaned from it, is that he's actually, he seems to actually really care about music, and he's trying and just completely failing. But you know what? That's more interesting to me than somebody who's just like kind of competent and boring and forgettable. You know what I mean? That's a good thing. Raphael, excellently put. Don't be good, be creative. You know what? Thank you for saying that. That's very good. $2 Sean from Pittsburgh. He was dressed like a stained glass window. Yes, he was dressed like stained glass. That was a cool outfit. That was a cool outfit. So that's anyway. I did have to tune into the Rogan special to see what's up, and that was the thing that struck me was it's like it's the cardinal sin there is it's just bad in a way that's boring. Where it's like I'm watching it and like I can like analyze the formula and mechanics of it, and I can like dissect the performance and say, you know what, like he is a very competent performer. He's in the zone, he's in the pocket, he's present. He won't stop shouting. He's yelling the entire set. But he's very, he is competent at performing stand-up comedy. At no point did I even crack anything resembling a smile or begin to laugh. I found all of it to be very tedious and just completely boring. And so it was just that to answer anyone's, I had to tune in. I had to see what this is a live event, and it was just it was just boring to me. And we talk like me, Crack, and Robbie. We talk so much shit, right? And I've said this before, but here's the thing: whether or not I possess the ability to do anything that any of these people are doing, you know what I mean? Like whether I'm more or less talented or whatever than them, I don't think you have to be able to do the thing that you're watching to have taste or critique it in any way. Because then what would the you know what I mean? Then what would even be the value of art at that point if the consumer is not allowed to critique what they're watching because they themselves are not able to do it? It's like, by that, are you not allowed to watch a football game and get upset when the team you're rooting for is doing bad at football? You know what I mean? We see it's a big fat slob sitting there, lazy boys screaming ethnic slurs at the TV because the football team's not doing good. That's fine, and no, very few people can actually play football. But then when it comes to the arts and creativity, especially comedy, it's like people get their panties in a twist over guys like just regular folk trying to critique it. Now, I will say that I don't, as much as I indulge in those channels that's just like hating comedians, podcast cringe, too lazy to try, or whatever. Though I find those guys to be obnoxious to a degree, even though I can't stop watching them. And it doesn't seem like there's very, very few times does it seem like they're approaching any of what they're doing from an actual place of Ebertian criticism, I suppose is how I put it. Like you watch like Roger Ebert, Siskel and Ebert and Roper, whatever. The movie, the show with the guys who watch movies. from back in the day. They were always very like congenial, cordial, and we're never like looking to be negative. And even in movies that, Roger Ebert was like so good because like even when he didn't really think something was good, he still would like critique it, and he would give it his time and attention, and like um actually offer like a criticism and try to fight, try to look for what's good about it, but here's why it actually sucks. But hey, I commend everyone for working. But it's an actual critique. It's not just being negative or just taking shots at something for clicks, which is what I think a lot of these like hating comedians channels do. And so I try to be more what's the word? I can't think of the word. My vocabulary escapes me once more because I've been talking to black people all day. But I try to be more amicable and try to not just be like cynical or hypercritical. I try to actually perceive things through the lens of criticism. So anyway, all that's to say that Rogan special sucked. I didn't enjoy it. It stinks. And I guess the frustrating thing is that, when you talk like this, there's people who say, oh, you're just a hater. You're just mad because he's successful. And I'm like, yes, yeah, that is true. That is true. But also, I do have taste, and I like understand the arts to some degree and creativity. So I'm allowed to have taste and have opinions and express them, as are you. You don't have to just dick ride all these people because they're wealthy. There's tons of people who made a ton of money doing something that sucks. That's not uncommon. I mean, financial success is not always indicative of quality. It's just they got rich. Whatever, it happens. And that is frustrating because I would like to be rich. That'd be cool. Um, so I try to be more, I guess more understanding and fair than, I don't know, podcast cringe or whatever. I can't stop watching those channels, dude. Those channels are, it's like candy for me. It's like going out and buying a big box of Nerds and just eating all tons of sugar until I pass out and my pancreas hurts. But watching YouTube videos, it's analogous to that is what it feels. It just feels like complete junk, but I can't stop watching that. Just the dumbest things of content ever, which is just like some guy commenting on a podcast he watched. Nerds are good. It's a good candy. Yeah, it's definitely not something you could eat like a ton of in one sitting because it makes my tongue feel funny after a while, and then I get very sleepy from all the sugar. But they got some new cool variants for Nerds now. They got the gummy clusters. They've had the rope for a while. The rope been out for a long time. The rope has always been good, but now the Nerds gummy clusters, those exist now. Those are very good. We got Art of Chris. We got my man Chris in here. Everybody be sure to subscribe to Chris's channel. He's struggling ever since he left his job at this Chinese soda factory. But he's doing good art on his channel. It's youtube.com/art_of_Chris. He says real success is happiness. Well, let me tell you, homie. I ain't never been happy having no money. To be honest with you, I feel like so much of my lack of happiness is derived from the fact that I don't have a lot of money. And I feel like if I got more money, if I had a lot of money, that would solve a lot of my problems regarding happiness. I feel like I'd be more happy. Wouldn't solve everything. I mean, there would probably be some like existential things I got to work through or whatever. But I tell you what, having money would be cool. It would be nice. um But that's why we're here. But that's why we're here to humble ourselves, because money's not everything. What's the script? What's the good book say? It's easier for to push a camel through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to enter the kingdom of heaven. I'm paraphrasing, but that's from the book of Mark, I believe. We've gone over that verse. Oh, there was a nerd cereal. That's interesting. I bet that's a lot like because at that point that's probably mostly like tricks or something. If you're trying to do like a puffed rice, sweet fruit flavored cereal like that, it would probably just be similar to tricks. um, but anyway, yeah. So money's cool. We got to talk about, because man, is anybody been following what's going? I mean, it's not like obvious. It's certainly not everything. Yeah, someone in the chat makes a good point. Chat. Maybe I can juice the algorithm if I keep saying the word chat. Chat. What are we thinking, chat? But somebody in the chat makes a good point. I mean, yeah, there's plenty of like people who get tons of money, get rich, and then still feel empty and kill themselves. They're stupid. They're just broken. I don't know. I mean, my heart goes out to them and their families. Prayers for the who killed themselves recently. I don't know. The Seymour Hoffman family. He was depressed, did too much heroin, died, and that happened probably over a decade ago. So hey, prayers to the Seymour Hoffmans for that. But that's foolish. If you got enough money, you can afford the best therapists in the world and get that fixed. I got to go see a lady who costs $4 because the government helps, and she's very nice though. She sits there and she's like, "So what you been up to?" I'm like, "Oh, same old." And then we just sit there for like 40 minutes, and she's like, "Well, I just make sure you make sure you get more sunlight and drink lots of water. I'll see you again in 4 weeks." I see her once a month. It's nothing crazy. Oh, thank you. $2 from Sean from Pittsburgh. So I said to the chat, what we thinking, chat? How you feeling? Let's get a temperature check, chat. Yeah. So what was I saying? Oh yeah. So money certainly is the cause. Can help make you more happy, and it can also bring about lots of plenty of despair, because it seems like now money is really falling off for the world now. I don't know. Look, we all know I am in the stock market. I'm I'm on Wall Street. I'm in the high stakes world of finance, and so I pay attention to it now. And the entire stock market bled like a stuck pig on Friday. The whole market is just bleeding out, and I was just watching myself lose tons of money. I got this one man. I did not know what I was doing, and now I am really not. I'm not doing well now. I got this one stock I was in on that I got hit with a reverse split, so it could go back up over $1 and regain compliance with the Nasdaq. And then Friday, the dang thing went back under $1 after the split. I lost like 95% on that, my investment on that one. I should have sold way long ago. I've been holding on to these things for too long. I do not know what I'm doing. But I'm trying to figure it out. I finally figured out, they take profits. I got one I bought in on. I hit 20% return, sold, made $100. Reinvested my earnings, lost it. So it's something you got to figure out. But yeah, there's fears of a recession. So the entire market just completely bled out on Friday. And I saw some, Warren Buffett. He sold half of his Apple stock. He sold like half of his whatever he was holding in Apple. And so now Berkshire Hathaway has I think they said Berkshire Hathaway has $277 billion cash on hand. Now, what I don't that now look, I said it would be nice to have more money. It'd be nice to have a lot of money. At that point, I don't even know what was going on. What is he doing? Why is he do? Why is that's the real camel through the eye of a needle sort of parable? Is at that point of any sort of wealth, like what is even? Is it just a game for you now? What's the goal here? Like to what end are these means? It's Warren Buffett. This is like what he's known for is investing and being rich. Why does he doesn't he doesn't need anything? I don't understand why he cares at this point. He's secured enough wealth that when we transition into a feudalist society once again, there will be the Duke Buffetts, the House Buffett will be one of the noble houses of the new feudal world. That's how much wealth he secured. Maybe that is the goal. Is everybody can see it coming because it's going to go one of two ways, right? Is money itself completely becomes like intangible and having like no real value, and everything gets like all the jobs go away and the need for any sort of human labor is non-existent. So like and yet we still exist in a world. I got to figure out how to talk about this because it's hard to wrap my head around the big thoughts I've been having. But it's like if we exist in a world in which you have to work to create money, you have to provide value to generate you know income. You need the income in order to trade that for shelter and goods and services. So the income is a representation of like some sort of value you've provided as a person, right? And so if we negate the need for human labor, if all the value can be provided by some sort of automation, right? Then, but we still exist in a world in which people need income, right? They need this thing that represents like the value they've provided, and yet is not needed. The actual, whatever they provide is not needed anymore, but they still have to have this money. So what will happen is it probably go one of two ways. Either we do Star Trek, which would be a techno futuristic socialist collective world in which the machines effectively eliminated a lot of the um, suffering and poverty, all the bad things associated with capitalism, right? So we reached the goal, we achieved the goal of free market capitalism, which is a Star Trek collective galactic utopia. Could do that, or it goes techno feudalist, more like Dune, where it's noble houses and the empire and all that. And so it seems like that's probably we're headed more into Dune times. And so now all these the rich people know what's coming, and so they're trying to establish what will be needed so that there will be House Buffett, House Musk, House Zuckerberg, House Bezos. These will be the great houses of the new empire, and then like 1,000 years from now, like the great grandson of Mark Zuckerberg leads a galactic jihad against House Musk. That'll be what happens. So it'll probably be that, and then the rest of us will be relegated to some sort of technocratic serfdom in which we're all just new peasants in this brave new techno feudalist world. That's what feels like is coming. I don't think we're going to get to do Star Trek. We're gonna continue to exist within some sort of market capitalist structure, and everybody's just going to keep like it's going to get worse and worse, you know. And there will be I mean, there's still opportunities. It's not to say it's all bad right now. Capitalism's pretty tight because you could still figure out a way to make like a bunch of money now and do good and be comfortable. But then as everything gets more and more automated and these like tech bunny guys continue to take over, eventually they're going to grind out the need for any sort of humanity, and then we'll all be we'll just be peasants. Yeah, one world government, Illuminati, one world government, um something like that. Good night, Sean from Pittsburgh. That blessings be upon you, amen. um we might you we'll and we'll hey we'll get into the Bible study here in a moment. uh yeah, we'll do that. um so yeah, it'd be cool. It would be cool so that to get money before everything falls apart. Because I mean, even I'm a friend of mine. I had a friend of mine call me the other day who she's like worked in tech for like the last 8 years, software engineer. She got fired last year, and she called me and told me she was like, I ain't been able to find jobs since I got fired. I had to move back in with my parents, and she was like, in the bed, I've been able to by now, and as of now, I've been able to figure out like freelancing, and she was like, I'm getting 20 hours a week doing like freelance software, whatever. And that was the job. Remember, have all these years, everybody was like, learn the code. That's future proof. You'll always be secure and have stability, make tons of money. Even that, they're going to take that away. No more, even the software coding nerds are losing their jobs. And so what's left for anybody, I guess, all we can do is come together in a community and praise the Lord our God and wash ourselves in his grace and love and blessings. And yeah, and all, we can but understand that we are but human, and everything is all this life is very mysterious, and it's an enigma. It's beyond us what God's plan is. But if I think it's not our job to understand. It's our purpose to have faith. Chris says he can't even get a dishwashing job. They want someone with experience. Did you tell him you grew up in a house with a mom? Like, yeah, my mom made me wash the dishes. I think I have experience doing this. Don't even do that, dude. Seriously, just like go to websites for like big companies, like big mega conglomerate corporations, and click on the careers page and see if they'll like send you a computer to work from home. Get a work from home job. Because that's what I did, and that worked out. I mean, I don't know, the job market is a nightmare right now. Sal's dumbass like quit his job. Talking about, he was like, "Oh, my resume's really good. I'll be able to find something that pays just as much or more, no problem." And I was like, "All right, you're still better than I do." And then like 2 weeks later, he was like staying with his brother, and he was like, "Yeah, I guess my resume is not as good as I thought it was, and I'm having a lot of trouble finding a job." I was like, "Yeah, man, the job market is like gone now. There's no." Well, you think they were telling the truth every time Biden came on camera and was like, "We create so many new jobs," and then coming to find out, it was just like everyone with rental properties, Airbnbs, I guess, were doing good. So I guess that counts like as a gig job. So yeah, I've been able to rent out my Airbnb, that or like DoorDash and Uber and stuff. Um, so yeah, I guess technically there's new jobs if you include wage slave, being a delivery boy for I don't know, pita bread sandwiches. What are they called? Gyros. That's a job. I think pays less than minimum wage when you get down to it. Um, so, but it's ebbs and flows, right? Life is peaks and valleys. Okay, thank you. Now we can get into the scripture. I was waiting for this. $2, Drew Huntley. $1.99 from Drew Huntley. Corinthians 16, 1, 2. Corinthians chapter 16, verses 1 through 2. Okay, 1 through 2. Here we go. Let's see, Bible.com. Ooh, this is a much better website. Okay, here we go. Now, concerning the collection for the saints, as I have given order to the churches of Galatia, even so do ye. Upon the first day of the week, let every one of you lay by him in store, as God hath prospered him, that there be no gatherings when I come. Is this what you wanted me to read? What is it? Did they even say anything? Or did you didn't specify First Corinthians or Second Corinthians? Because I feel like that was just like one of those transitional verses, just kind of laying some track for something later on. Now, concerning the collection for the saints, as I've given order to the church of Galatia, even so do ye. Upon the first day of the week, let every one of you lay by him in store, as God hath prospered him, that there be no gatherings when I come. Okay, I guess the first day of the week, take a chill, take a knee, relax. So, wait, what happened? Chat, what's going on? Don't say wage slave. You're better than that. That's a commie expression. Okay, I'm getting sick of this. Stop with that. Stop just calling everything communist. I don't know what anything means. I don't know where everybody gets this idea that everyone that just everything is communist now or fascist. Is that all anyone ever says now? It's two extremes. It's either communist or fascist. If you ask me, when you think about it, both sides are kind of the same. $1.99 from Drew Huntley. Praise be upon Sumo Dog of Sweeze. Okay, I don't know if wage slave. I shouldn't say that. A low wage worker, a dog working as a damn dog. I don't know what to say. It's I'm not. I'm not communist. I'll tell you that much because I haven't read any of that stuff. I don't even know what it means, to be honest with you. But I haven't read any theory about anything. The last thing I read was besides that Bible verse just now. The last thing I read was a short story by Harlan Ellison called "Pain God." So that was the last thing I read, which is not any sort of ideological or political theory. It was about I guess like some sort of salamander type alien who was tasked by the universe to deliver pain and suffering to the cosmos in order to, uh, I guess, create the sort of dichotomy by which we experience suffering so that we may appreciate pleasure and beauty and happiness more. So honestly, that's actually very apropos of what I've been talking about. The pain God is inflicting much suffering on us these days, so that that we can then better understand and appreciate the value of beauty and pleasure and comfort. You know what I mean? Because if it was just paradise all the time, I guess that would be bad somehow. I guess that's bad, maybe that's actually, maybe that is sort of the one interpretation of scripture of the Bible, is that we were never even meant to exist in the Garden of Eden, right? We can't exist in paradise and eternal comfort and beauty all the time. There has to be some sort of equal and opposite, uh, just otherness that provides the the I guess the friction that we need in order to better understand ourselves and appreciate this life, and create meaning in this life, right? Is that's something, you know that's a deep thought. Thank you, Raphael. What's heaven without hell for comparison? I mean, honestly, yeah, it is like, I guess that is ultimately one of that is a sort of a theme you see all throughout literature. The Bible is just more direct, but you see that all throughout. Every good story is about somebody who has to suffer in some way and grow and become a different person by the end of it, and then everything's better by the end, right? And so that's just life for all of us, I feel like. And we find that very it's very upfront and forward in the Bible. The Bible's very, I think the Bible's open to some interpretations, but it's very easy to understand. It's very good versus evil, and what does it mean to be human, on that whole chestnut. You know what I mean? Yes, thank you, Art of Chris. Is it better to have loved and lost than have never loved at all? I think it's not true. I don't know, dude. um, I don't know nothing. Like I said, I'm not smart. I'm trying to be, I'm trying to read more and be smart. I read my good book here. I've been reading. I downloaded a bunch of ebooks, so I got my phone. When I'm just like scrolling in bed at night, I go, hey, you know what? I got this phone in my hand already. Why don't I open up this app with all these books on it and read a couple pages out of a book? And so this is also something that's talked to, what we're exploring now. This the sort of beauty there, that we find within suffering. It's funny how everything comes together. Everything I've been studying lately is all working together. It's all building towards something. Because I read I just started reading um Dostoevsky's Fyodor Dostoevsky's Notes from the Underground, and so far the way I understand, that's what that whole book is about. Or if it is a book, it's shorter. I guess you would call it a novella, or I guess it's a book, whatever. Anyway, it's all about how does man find the sort of happiness that man derives from suffering. That man, we as people, as humans, we actually will look for joy in suffering itself. It talks about having a toothache and kind of enjoying even having a toothache, or trying to make your life worse, and just suffering and finding some sort of pleasure in that, right? Um, that's sort of what, I got to finish reading it, but that it's all about the sort of value of suffering itself. Nobody gets to go through this life without struggling, right? Scripture tells us that that's just life. It sucks. It really sucks. I hate having to struggle. I hate waking up every day and being like, man, I gotta do this again. When time's gonna get better? But you have to have faith that times do be getting better at some point, right? We pray to the Lord our God, and we have faith, and we continue to toil and walk in his path as but sheep being herded by the shepherd being the word of the Lord our God. Amen. um and yeah, Chris makes a good point in the chat. Chris makes a good point. You can't be too attached to anything. um it's Bruce Lee said, be like water. um which reminds me of the time, when I was going nuts, when I was having my life threatening mental health episode. I actually went into a Bruce Lee Jeet Kune Do studio because Bruce Lee once said, "Be like water," and so I said, "There's something in here I'm supposed to discover about myself in this Jeet Kune Do studio." And then I argued with the clerk for about a half hour, and then investigated the basement until his boss showed up and asked me to leave. That was before I found out that I was actually, in the throes of a pretty severe mental break. But you know what? Through all that entire experience, I brought upon myself great suffering, and and I lost a lot. I lost a lot of material things, a lot of money, a lot of time, and I learned, that through it all, life goes on. We pick ourselves up, and Master Wayne, why do we fall off the horse? So, so we can learn how to get back up. I did not learn karate or Jeet Kune Do or any martial art. I signed up for a class and then never showed up. What did I argue about with him? I thought that it wasn't a real business. I was like, Jeet Kune Do is from the movies. That's a movie martial art. This isn't real. This is a facade for the deep state or something. And I said, you mind if I have a look around? And he's like, yeah, I mean, go for it. And so then I just went rooting around, and then come to find out it was like an actual martial arts like dojo, and I was actually causing a bit of a disturbance. They probably could have called the cops on me if they wanted to. But you know what? What I learned from all of that is that to learn to actually we must do be like water, and sometimes we in doing so we must shed our skin, so to speak. Be like water and be like a snake, or in some way shed your skin and float down the river, like a I guess like a water moccasin. Be like a water moccasin, float the river, go where the river takes you, and shed your skin. That's what I say. Or the Ouroboros, and so yeah, through after all that, I mean, I lost like just everything, and the time is the worst of it. Just all the time lost. Still, time still slipping through my fingers, because that's the one thing you can't get back. Money comes and goes, things coming. You can always get things and money back, but the time, you can't get the time back. People try, that one billionaire dude's trying. He's trying to like reverse his age by injecting himself with his son's blood. And then I guess he got COVID, and he was like, "Oh no, actually, I am in my 50s. This completely debilitated me." Yeah, the time is the one thing can't get back, but can't be too attached to that either. Cannot be too attached to this corporeal, physical, tangible world, for all of it is but an illusion, and that which is real and divine is the kingdom of heaven. I guess. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I try. I just I keep an open mind, and I find I have faith, and I find meaning in the community that we've all grown here together. Meaning in each other, the bonds we form. Sort of like that's some what we also what's also um, explored in Neon Genesis Evangelion is that we we only exist in so much as other people exist, and we find meaning in the bonds that we create with the people around us. Um, and the self is formed through those connections. And it is the goal of the Human Instrumentality Project to um I don't know. To be honest with you, I never really understood what the Human Instrumentality Project was supposed to be, but thematically I did get I understand the show. There's human connection is really the only thing that matters, and these bonds we form with each other are so important. But then when it came to the actual plan, I think it was supposed to be that he was going to merge all of human consciousness into one organism or a computer or something, and then everyone would effectively humanity would cease to exist as it has existed, and we would exist in a new form of consciousness as a sort of like collective uh, being. Was the because I think the people at Nerve understood that there was no way to actually save humanity from this the invasion of the angels, as they were called, that they could keep delaying it, but eventually all of humanity would be wiped out. And so the Shinji's dad character, his what he was trying to achieve was to I guess merge all of all of human consciousness together in some way. I think that was the goal. I think that was the Human Instrumentality Project, right? Has anybody seen the show? Does anybody know what I'm talking? Does anybody know what I'm talking about now? Um, but I guess but if you transpose that to real life, that is what we are as people. We are a collective, all sharing this experience, and we there's the individual, and then the what the whole organism, all of us together. And we're all just trying to survive together, right? um so that that's what you learn. That's my interpretation. That's what I learned from watching a show about giant robots fighting giant monsters. Or they're not robots, they're mechs. They're giant, like suits of armor, basically machines, like weapons that are piloted by teenagers. Because teenagers were the only ones capable of connecting with the machine in the whatever link that had to be formed mentally. Teenagers were the only ones that could do it. Adults were too. I don't know. I can't remember why. I haven't watched the show in a while. It's a cool show. It got very Redditized. Um, everybody watched it, and then it became like a very Reddit thing. Neon Genesis Evangelion. But if you just study the actual text, and ignore all the people online say about it, it's actually a very good show. I got fruit flies, man. I don't know what, dude. I went to the. God, come on, man. The flies are. I don't know. You can't see them. There's flies flying everywhere around here. Beelzebub has taken whole residence in my abode, and now there's flies everywhere. The Lord of the Flies, Beelzebub. Because I left a pot of like black eyed peas out. I forgot, And then I was like cooking the other day, and I was trying to cook something. I was like, yo, what smells awful? Something over here smells terrible. Like something died. Like, what is this? And then there was a pot sitting on the back of the stove, and so I popped the lid off that pot. that pot of peas had to have been there for long, probably longer than a week. It was pretty bad what had happened. They had completely gone rotten and rancid, and began to there was there was a lot of maggots and flies and everything. I guess somehow I don't know how that works. By the way, I don't understand how if you just let food rot. Like fundamentally, I get it. Like food, things rot. Born from the rot is flies and critters and bugs or whatever. But I don't get how if I just have like a stove in my residence, I'm in the bit, in my residence here, and if I just leave food out in a pot, how did the maggots get in there? You know what I mean? How do I get why how does that create the flies? How is it just having rotting food? You get what I'm asking? I guess I could look this up, but um because it's like they weren't there when I was cooking the peas initially. They weren't there for the first couple days, but then enough time passes and the food rots, and then it just generates maggots and flies, and now they're just everywhere. There's just flies everywhere. You probably can't see them. It's these little tiny fruit flies. They're just flying everywhere. They're in my face. I keep sucking them up my nose, and they fly in my mouth. It's really frustrating. I guess there's like a fly. Flies are attracted to the rot, so I guess like there does need to be at least a fly that can get in the house, and then it lays eggs there, and the eggs become maggots, and the maggots become new flies. So that means like I guess a fly did have to fly in, um, that's not outside the realm of possibility that a fly flew in from the outside and smelled delicious rotting peas and bacon. There was some hog fat in there to give them flavor when they were actually cooked and edible. And so, a fly flew in and laid eggs, and now there's just flies everywhere. It's like this rotting pot of food generated so many flies, like you birthed so many flies everywhere I go around here now. They keep flying in my mouth. They're getting in my nose or my ears. And I'm laying in bed and I'm just swatting around at flies because a pot of black eyed peas went spoiled for several days. That's also really been dragging me down this week is all these flies. I am eating flies. Yeah, I'm eating the bugs now because they keep flying in my mouth. Anyway, well, we got 8 super chats. I am cooking. I like to cook. I just, I was pretty debilitated following my mental health crisis, my life-threatening mental break. And so now that I'm just flying everywhere, now that I'm back and recovering, I'm once again finding some sort of joie de vivre, and I really do enjoy cooking. I'm not that good at it, but I enjoy it, and I've been trying to incorporate more vegetables. Sal keeps going on about this keto nonsense. I'm not doing that. That's really stupid. This keto thing. I feel like when it comes to nutrition, that's one of the things God, blessed us with. Is that we do I think we understand our bodies and intuitively understand nutrition, and we just but we're also creatures of habit and desire and vice, and so food is so easy to eat food that's not good for you, to eat junk food all the time and get fat as hell, and then just develop the addiction to that and continue to eat unhealthily for forever. And then one day you're fat as hell and you're like, I don't understand what to do. And there must be some method by which I can lose this weight, and then and then somebody comes up with something where it's like, yeah, if you just eat like a bunch of bacon and string cheese, that's actually a great way to lose weight. That's keto. It's like pretty convenient that there's a diet out there that's just bacon and cheese and like hamburger meat and whatever. So that sounds like really stupid. I've heard that it works because you're tricking you're like forcing your body to enter into the same metabolism that people with diabetes have, I think. So you ever see like someone with type 1 diabetes who's real skinny? Their body is basically, also doing ketosis. So I know that keto can work, but it's not sustainable. It's not a good long-term strategy. And it's really stupid because I feel like everybody intuitively understands what you're supposed to do when it comes to eating and nutrition. Eat a bunch of vegetables and some good fruits, and make sure you get like decent protein, whether that's from lean meats or maybe even tofu or peanut butter or like whatever, wherever you can get protein, right? And that's about it. Drink lots of water and try to, don't eat like a bunch of processed foods and bread and stuff. I think it's like probably that's I feel like we all understand nutrition is probably that simple. It's just like go to the store and buy like some spinach and broccoli or whatever and just try, eat vegetables and then good some chicken and there you go. You know, but no, nobody wants to do. People don't want to do that. They want to be like, oh no, I actually have to be on a diet of like of just steaks and bacon and cheese. That's all I can eat. I'm relegated to meat and cheese, and and that's so okay. Well, good. Hopefully that word sounds really dumb. Um, my white ass, I grew up with the damn food pyramid. So you gotta have a balanced diet. The foundation of which is grains and bread. Is the base of the pyramid, bread, and then at the top is like water and fruit and vegetables, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, that's what I've been doing. What I'm saying is that's what I've been doing is I go in the kitchen and I like cut up a bunch of vegetables and just cook the because that's maybe people don't understand that um I think there's maybe a lot of people who think the only way to eat vegetables that you're allowed to or that you can eat vegetables is salads, like raw vegetables. But you can actually cook vegetables, and it completely changes changes them. It's a whole new meal at that point. We are doing some. This is squash talk because I got some squashes. I've been cooking squash lately. um, yeah, so cooked vegetables are very good. I go like if I go to an Outback Steakhouse, I'll get the grilled vegetables as a side. I say, hey, you know what? I don't need the fries because I just ate 3 loaves of brown bread. I don't need the fries. Let me substitute the grilled veggies with my porterhouse, and it's great. And I do that at home now. I cook vegetables at home. You ever get a spaghetti? Oh, this is great squash talk. You ever get a spaghetti squash? Those are great. It's a pain to cook. It takes forever. It's hard to cut into, and then you got to cook that thing for like over an hour to get it done and cook the way you want it. But I tell you what, I could house a whole spaghetti squash in one sitting. Those things are so good. Um, so yeah, that's something the Lord gave us these. These are the rewards of our labor in the earth are these wonderful, beautiful vegetables and fruits. Um, and they're tasty. It's easy to eat them, and it's very difficult to screw it up. If I don't if I undercook my chicken, I get a bad tummy ache. My stomach hurts and I'm sick. if I undercook my squash, it's just crunchier than I'd like it to be, but it's still perfectly fine to eat. I hit it with some sea salt, and it's pretty good still. You know what I mean? It's hard to screw up cooking vegetables. And it's very fun and fulfilling. Cooking is one of those like it's a very simple joys that's very fulfilling and rewarding if you can like force yourself to actually do it. Even if you're bad, I'm bad. I'm not that good at it, but I try to do it more and more now. It's very fun, to go from uh, um, you know, just these, groceries and then cutting them up and getting everything prepared and throwing them in a pan. And then by the end of it, I got a meal. I prepared a whole meal for myself and I cooked, I did that, you know, I didn't have to go to a Jack in the Box or a Wendy's and order food. I didn't have to have somebody do it for me. I, um, I made it myself. Because I'm a big boy. um, and you know what? I feel better too. I think I was like vitamin deficient for a long time because like I have been eating more, stuff from the earth, vegetables and what have you, and I'm feeling more in it. Certainly more energetic and revitalized throughout the day. So I think if I can, I've replaced what was a large portion of my diet was like bread and cereal and stuff like that. And now I'm eating like apples and grapes and spinach and squashes. I'm feeling better. Drinking lots of water. I'll have me a Topo Chico to start the day now, or just a tap water. And so that's very important. Drinking lots of water, eating vegetables. I feel good. This is very. I mean, what am I talking about? I guess it's just maintenance. Hey folks, we're talking about how to maintain. The Lord blessed us with these bodies. We only get one body. I have been very negligent of mine and not treated it well. And now I'm trying to treat it better. And you know what? I feel better now. So if you take anything away, if you learn anything from it, I guess eat your vegetables. That's really what it all comes down to. Is that you got to eat your vegetables. Um, how hard would it? Wait, how hard? Chat. How hard would it be to quit my vaping habit? Very difficult. Because I can't do anything. I am but a man, and we all have our vices. And I can't do anything else. I can't drink. I can't smoke doobies. I can't do drugs or nothing like that. And so all I got is my vaping, and I got my Coke Zero. I got, vaping Coke Zero. Um. So yeah, it would be tough. Um. The funny thing is, and I think anyone who's ever ingested nicotine knows. I got to be more careful when I say that word. Nicotine knows this. After a while, it just stops doing. It's just maintaining. Just just it's not doing anything for me. Like I don't hit the vape or smoke a cigarette or pop in a Zen, and I feel like anything. It just makes me not feel frustrated anymore. You know what I mean? It was like when I first started uh, doing doing nicotine in high school. Playing around with the skull, smoking cigarettes or whatever. Those early days, it's like, wow, what a rush! This is amazing. And then just after a while, it's just like if I need this, because if I don't have it, I'm gonna claw my eyes out. But then when I do have the vape, it's just like, oh, I don't feel the need to have the vape anymore, or the cigarette, whatever it may be. I just don't feel anxious about that anymore. But I don't feel any sort of anything from it, really. So it's a really stupid addiction. And this isn't even cool. Cigarettes are so graceful and stylish and cool. And this is just like, oh, I'm just doing drugs. I just need a delivery system for the drugs I need. Um, but it's not in any way stylish. You know what I mean? I've seen they try to do it in movies now. There was a Brandon Cronenberg movie that came out a few years ago, really good movie called Possessor, and something that stood out to me in the movie was that there was a lot of emphasis put on the main character vaping. Like he was hitting the vape throughout the movie, and the way the audio was mixed in the movie was there was like this focus on the sound of the vape, like turning on and all the sounds of the vape. Um, and I don't really know what the young Cronenberg was trying to say with that. It just stood out to me, to be honest with you. Um, Maybe it was just like some attempt at replacing smoking with vaping in movies. I don't know, but it certainly was something I noticed that I feel like he wanted me to notice as a filmmaker. Brandon Cronenberg. They've tried that in a number of things. What was that? There was another show that came out a few years ago with the lady. What was it, Mayor of Easttown, where she was vaping a lot? And yeah, certainly on camera, it does not look as good as smoking cigarettes. $1.99 from Drew Huntley. Shout out Newport Red 100s. Dude, that's so crazy. That's what you're smoking, dude. Because if I'm going to smoke a Newport, I'm getting like an actual Newport, a monkey mint, not the. If I'm going to like, I would just get like Camels or something if I'm going to smoke a pack of Reds. Yeah, cigarettes in movies are awesome. There is no denying that looks cool as hell, and you can't really replace them with vaping. You got to have detectives smoking cigs. You can't have a detective hitting the vape while they're studying the case. Um, but I just as far as like my own personal enjoyment, vaping's cool because this is watermelon lime. It comes with so many fun flavors. Uh, although I do actually enjoy the flavor of tobacco. It's just I feel like if I would, hopefully I've chosen the lesser of two evils. Who knows what the actual consequences will be of vaping, but cigarettes would just make me feel so awful after smoking them physically that I was like, all right, let's vaping. I'll stick to vaping. No more unfiltered Camels, which are very tasty. What I don't understand the people that get the tobacco flavored vapes. That's insane. Because tobacco itself is like a very sophisticated flavor. The actual plant, the leaf, it's like there's all it tastes like something. It's like tobacco, right? But if you are like to try to extract to create this like to do science on it to create this extraction of tobacco, this like simulacra of tobacco. That's just like some juice you put in a thing or a even a disposal. It's like that's disgusting. I don't want tobacco flavored anything. If I'm gonna have tobacco, I want tobacco. If I'm gonna get something that's like a flavor of something, I got the full spectrum of flavors before me when it comes to vapes. I can get this is a watermelon lime. The last one I had was a frozen pina colada. I got I've had frozen grape. I really like the ones that have like ice or menthol in them. Um, Thank you, Drew. Drew says my cigs are in flavor. Uh Oh, that would be good, Pat DeRosa. McDonald's can make a vape flavor. That'd be good. Yeah, McDonald's vape. McDonald's Coca Cola vape. Y'all know how to Coke at McDonald's be. Ooh, the Sprite at McDonald's can knock the hair off your chest. It's like frying bacon. Listening to the Sprite from a McDonald's sizzle in the cup. um, Nicotine pouches ain't bad. Chat. The chat says nicotine. Jason Ellison says nicotine pouches. Yeah, I'll do. I mean, I do both. I alternate. I got the Zins. I got the vape. Sometimes I'm doing both at once. So yeah, the Zins are cool. I mean, they've certainly been adopted by the most annoying people of all time, Tucker Carlson, and people like that. It's become like a thing, an internet, like a weird, I don't know, like bar stool type guys are all doing Zins now. And I liked it better when Zins was just something you bought that nobody talked about, and you just were like, oh, I guess this is cool. They got this now. I hope nobody finds out I'm gay and doing Zins instead of dipping. But now it's like everybody does Zins now. It's become cool and trendy. I preferred Zins when they were just gay and something you were ashamed of. Like, I'm too much of a pussy for Skull anymore. I got to do these now. And they're great for the. Oh yes, hello Casey. KC is in the chat. I guess we summoned you. I don't know. KC says I'm bacon. Okay, I didn't know that. Anyway, yeah, and the Zins are great for a movie theater. When you're at the movie theater, you're like, man, I really could go for a vape or a cigarette right now. Just pop a Zin, perfect. I remember growing up though, that small town I grew up in. I remember when we were teenagers, we used to go to the theater. And all my friends would just be dip. This is before Zins. They would just be dipping during the movie. Just all like head spitters, really gross. And then just leave them. And just like leave all their fucking trash and spitters there in their seats. Just revolting. Very disrespectful to the people that got to clean that up. How much is Zin? I guess it depends on where you are. I usually only pay like at the most like $6 for a can. But most places where I've seen it is like $3 or $4 a can. But maybe it's because I know in the big cities, nicotine products can be pretty pricey. I remember in New York, a can of Grizzly snuff was like I think like $13, which is like if you don't know about snuff, that's insane. That's like 4 times the price of what it should be. And people still do tobacco in New York. A pack of cigarettes across the board in New York City is $15. No matter, I think no matter what, whether you're getting Pall Malls or Maverick or American Spirits or whatever the brand is, like $15. I guess if you're cool with your bodega guy, they have like some black market where they got cigarettes from Virginia or something with different tax stamps on them, where you could get them for like $8 a pack. But usually you're spending like $15 for a pack of cigarettes in New York. And people smoke like crazy there. It's crazy when people talk about like I can't afford to live. New York's so expensive. It's like you're just not. You're spending your money like a moron. Trust me, I know. You're buying $15 packs of cigarettes and bottles of water and fancy meals and all this stuff, and it's like you could survive on. You could if you just want to live like a street rat, survive easily in that city. You're eating dollar slices, drinking the tap water, getting your tobacco wholesale from some sort of underground market. You gotta do tricks and schemes to survive. That's anywhere really. You gotta figure out some schemes to survive. You guys want to? We'll wrap this up soon. Let's end with some Bible. We got to get into the Bible here. Second Chronicles, chapter 25. Wait. No, not that one. No, not that. Job, chapter 24. Here we go. Job, chapter 24. Why, seeing times are not hidden from the Almighty, do they that know him not see his days? Some remove the landmarks, they violently take away flocks and feed thereof. They drive away the ass of the fatherless, they take the widow's ox for a pledge. They turn the needy out of the way, the poor of the earth hide themselves together. Behold, as wild asses in the desert. What is that? The Egyptian volleyball team at the Olympics? Go they forth to their work, rising betimes for a prey. The wilderness yieldeth food for them and for their children. They reap every one his corn in the field. Ooh, this is corn-fed. And they gather the vintage of the wicked. They cause the naked to lodge without clothing, that they have no covering in the cold. They are we. With the showers of the mountains and embrace the rock for want of a shelter. They pluck the fatherless from the breast and take a pledge of the poor. They cause him to go naked without clothing, and they take away the sheaf from the hungry, which make oil within their walls and tread their wine presses and suffer thirst. Men groan from out of the city, and the soul of the wounded crieth out, yet God layeth not folly to them. They are of those that rebel against the light. They know not the ways thereof, nor abide in the paths thereof. The murderer, rising with the light, killeth the poor and needy, and in the night is as a thief. The eye also of the adulterer waiteth for the twilight, saying, no eye shall see me, and disguiseth his face. In the dark they dig through houses, which they had marked for themselves in the daytime. They know not the light. For the morning is to them even as the shadow of death. If one know them, they are in the terrors of the shadow of death. He is swift as the waters. Their portion is cursed in the earth. He beholdeth not the way of the vineyards. Drought and heat consume the snow waters. So doth the grave those which have sinned. The womb shall forget him. The worm shall feed sweetly on him. He shall be no more remembered, and wickedness shall be broken as a tree. He evil entreateth the barren that beareth not, and doeth not good to the widow. He draweth also the mighty with his power. He riseth up, and no man is sure of life, though it be given him to be in safety, whereon he resteth, yet his eyes are upon their ways. They are exalted for a little while, but are gone and brought low. They are taken out of the way as all other, and cut off as the tops of the ears of corn. And if it be not so now, who will make me a liar, and make my speech nothing worth? Amen. So that was chapter 24 of the book of Job. But I think we could all learn something. We all learned something there. We got $2.99 tithing from Drew Huntley. Kings 21 verses 1 through 3. Random pick. Okay. All right, man. Kings 21 1 through 3. 1 through 3. Let's see here. First Kings? I guess First Kings. These flies, man. Wait a second. Why is it not giving me all the... Why is it... Come on, man. Hold on. Kings 21, 1 through 3. Oh, there we go. Nope, this website's not working. Oh, wait. Come on. There we go. King James. Okay, so this is 1 Kings chapter 21, verses 1 through 3. Oh, wait a second. There we go. And it came to pass after these things that Naboth the Jezreelite had a vineyard which was in Jezreel, hard by the palace of Ahab, king of Samaria. And Ahab spake unto Naboth, saying, Give me thy vineyard, that I may have it for a garden of herbs, because it is near unto my house, and I will give thee for it a better vineyard than it. Or if it seem good to thee, I will give thee the worth of it in money. And Naboth said to Ahab, The Lord forbid it me, that I should give the inheritance of my fathers unto thee. So you know what? I think what we can interpret from that passage, keep your head on a swivel. Do not let yourself get scammed by the Jezreelites. You know what I mean? So I think we all learned a lot from these passages. Wait. Oh, the chat has been active since I had my nose buried in the book there for a second. You know what? What are y'all talking about? Corn dog flavored vapes? That'd be cool. Hot dog flavor water. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Anyway, we're gonna get we're gonna bring this in for a prayer and close this out soon. Before we say our prayer for the night, I want to thank you again to the folks who super chatted, who donated to the temple. I saw somebody online today say that all the super chat shows are bad. That all these shows, like, that these are all bad shows, and what's going on? Why do people do super chats? You know, who knows? I appreciate it. Thank you for the super chats. I think we put on some pretty fun programming here at the network. I think this was someone who mostly listens to like Dabbleverse stuff, so it's just Kevin Brennan screaming about Ray DeVito and then reading super chats. No, I'm actually more focused on just like trying to do a performance of some kind. The super chats are very cool. That's very cool. It's cool. I appreciate the donations. And I don't like you don't have to do it. It's out of the goodness of your own heart. And it's a great way to foster some sort of community, to bring us together through money. Another $1.99 from Drew Huntley. I do it for sumo talk. Okay. Yeah, shout out to Sweeze, and Sweeze's brother Swizzle is out of jail. So, amen. Praise be to the Most High, the Lord our God. Swizzle is free. Sweeze and Swizzle have been reunited, and Sweeze is already making him watch Do-Reg and the Deer Tag episodes. So, thank you again to everybody that donated. Sean from Pittsburgh, William Almond, Sean from Pittsburgh, Drew Huntley, and Drew Huntley. So thank you. All right, everybody, bow your heads. We're gonna pray. Father God, thank you for this life. Thank you for blessing us with this experience, for this time that we have together. Though at times, it can be difficult living at times. We find joy and comfort in your love and your word, and the togetherness in which we are together together. And so, I say thank you for all that. And, we pray that, all of us can live healthy, happy, fulfilled, joyful lives as we walk in your light on the path of righteousness, and do good deeds and help each other, and make the world. We pray that we can all just in some way make the world a little bit of a better place together. God, please stop the war. Please make it so that people, so that there's not as much death and suffering. That's bad. We don't like that. We don't understand why that keeps happening. And we just hope that, all things through you, God, that they, that we'll knock that off soon. Um, Please, God, heal the stock market. My portfolio is hemorrhaging and is down, as our many people's portfolios, and so we pray that the stock market recovers, and but bless all of us with good health and good fortune, and a lot, and I pray that we all of us here that are gathered together can walk forward through this life with good health and wealth and happiness. Hey, and it's in Jesus' name that we pray. Amen. Okay, folks. Um, Thank you for joining us, for congregating and joining together as we wash ourselves in the Word of the Lord our God. That'll be all for this week. Blessings be upon you. Um, and I love you. Did wait, what happened in the chat? Um, yeah, there's a lot that's been y'all been talking a lot, and I don't know. I'm not gonna try and catch up on that. Anyway, thank you so much. I love you all, and I appreciate everybody for that continues to join me for these streams, for Cornfed, for the Crowder boys. I mean, we're all it's all coming together. We are creating something bold and new, creating a wonderful community together. So Sal and I will be back on this channel tomorrow, I believe, around 9 p.m. Eastern, and we'll do a show for about an hour and a half, and then go over to the Patreon to continue. So that'll be on this channel, and then patreon.com/cornfed with Dalton Pruitt. And then every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, is the Crowder Boys. That's on the Crowder Boys YouTube channel, youtube.com/@the-Crowder-Boys. That's me, Crackamico, and Robbie Goodwin. Crackamico's been blowing up this week because of his fire diss tracks he released. I believe he got the Red Bar bump. Red Bar is watching, and he watched Kraken. For some reason, I was mentioned in a Red Bar stream today. I think Robbie sent me something where my name was on screen, so that's cool. Thank you, Mike David. So yeah, tune in for everything. Cornfed tomorrow, and then the Crowder Boys Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, and then I believe I'm going to work something out. Myself and Dave Wright are going to continue the Idiot Investor series where he talks about crypto, and then I talk about the money I'm losing in the stock market. So stay tuned for everything. But thank you for joining us for Bible study this week. I really appreciate everybody for that continues to congregate and join in on this. I really enjoy. I find it very fulfilling to study Scripture. I'm going to actually start reading the Bible in my own time for my own edification and in preparation for these. So, thank you so much. I love you, and it's time to end the stream now. I'm clicking the button end stream.